The February bar exam is coming up in a few days, and I thought I'd make a video talking about my experience taking the February bar exam and some of the advantages and disadvantages of um, taking the February exam. So if you don't know, the bar exam is given twice a year. It's given in July and it's given in February. Now, uh, usually what most people do is they graduate from law school in May and then they take the bar exam in July, and if they pass the bar exam, they're sworn in usually in October or November. So that's the ordinary path. But if you fail the bar exam in July, then usually you end up taking the February bar exam, which will be the next bar exam. So this happened to me. I failed the bar exam in July. I needed to take the February bar exam. So I have experience taking both. Um, and there are some advantages and disadvantages to taking the exam in February. First, probably one of the biggest advantages is that it's a little bit more low key in February. So in July, everybody is, they're fresh out of law school, they're eager to take this exam. All of the real type A people that you knew in law school are all there for the July exam, and it's kind of a tense environment. Um, February, it's a little bit different, okay, because you're usually there with the people who failed it the first time around, or the people who, for whatever reason, are taking the exam late, or maybe somebody has been practicing in another state and now they're going to come in and take the exam in the middle of the year in February, or the beginning of the year. Um, so it just has a whole different feel to it, and it's much more relaxed than the July exam. A second advantage is, in most cases, you're returning to the same building, the same room, the same environment that you were in back in July. All right, so you know the lay of the land, um, you know just what it's going to be like to be in that room, and you're familiar with the surroundings, where the bathroom is, where you go in, where you check in, everything else. So that also helps to make you a little bit more relaxed and a little bit more at ease. And then finally, another advantage is that you essentially at this point should have done at least double the amount of preparation that you did for the first exam. All right? I would hope that you studied for the July exam, even though it didn't go your way. You at least put in many, many hours, days, weeks, etc., getting ready for it. Now you're going to have double that experience going into the February exam. So those are the advantages. And the main disadvantage, the biggest disadvantage of all, is psychological. You failed the first time around, so now you're wondering if you have the ability to pass this exam at all, and you do. If you went through law school, if you took the LSAT, you qualified for law school, you got through law school, then you have the capacity, the ability to pass the exam. However, when you fail it the first time, you have this feeling that you have to, no matter what, pass it the second time, and that's not a good feeling. And I think these people who fail multiple times, I think it just becomes uh, just mental more than anything. They in their mind they just believe that no matter what they can't pass this exam. So there's a lot riding on the February exam if you fail the July exam. Right? So that's probably the biggest disadvantage. And then just one last point. You cannot, I said earlier it's an advantage, the fact that you've studied for the July exam and now you're taking it a second time around. you can't say that you're going to study half as hard or, or rely on the prior time that you put in preparing for the July exam. You need to approach the February bar exam as if your life depends on it. I can remember when I prepared for it, I took the Barbary class again. I would get up in the morning, I would get a coffee, I'd go to the library, and I'd study at the library all day till 9 o'clock at night. And then I'd go home, go to sleep, get up, study again. And I did that for months to prepare for the exam. And it's an extremely difficult exam. And a lot of people will make comparisons to it. They don't fully understand. The bar exam is 2 full days of testing. You're either writing all day long for 8 hours, or you're reading all day long for 8 hours. The exam is subjective, all right? So it's sent to people who are going to grade it based on how they think the questions should be answered, all right? So there's an arbitrariness to it that makes it especially difficult, right? So if you failed, don't let it get you down. Let it motivate you, and just know that you're going to go into the February exam. You'll be a little bit more relaxed, and then hopefully you've put in a lot of studying time, and the exam should go well for you.